Hi, I'm Emma. I'm a polymer clay artist in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm just a few weeks away from launching my shop. Oh my gosh, the past month, my whole life has done like a full 180. I went from working at a pretty typical 9 to 5 corporate ed tech job to now a month later getting into a program in New York State, which is helping me financially to start my own business full time, which still feels super surreal. I don't have all the words to explain it yet, but I'm just so excited. But if you're interested about that kind of stuff, I talked about in my last video, so you can go watch that. But in this video, we're gonna do a little clay with me. Since we're just a few weeks out from launching my shop, I have a lot of inventory to make, a lot of little keychains and earrings and other accessories and jewelry stuff. I also asked y'all on my Instagram if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, so I'm going to answer some of those while I clay as well. Oh, and some updates since my last video. I talked about how I was really scared and nervous to form an actual company, like an LLC, like doing the paperwork and all that stuff, how government forms just scare me. Here's the good thing, it was actually super easy to do. I thought it would be much harder, but I just went online, filled out the online forms, took like 15 minutes, hit submit, gave them some of my moolah because it costs money to form a company. And then I hit submit and I almost immediately got an email with my confirmation and all of my forms to show that I officially have an LLC. So I officially am a business owner, I officially have an LLC, and this all just feels so like surreal and dreamy. But I still have some other paperwork I need to do. I need to get an EIN and do some other local stuff, and also this feels so old school to me. But I have to publish about my LLC in 2 newspapers in New York designated by the county clerk, which is gonna be a little expensive. It's not super cheap to do that in New York, but it's what you have to do when forming an LLC. Don't ask me why, but I will have to do that, which is just more money. But it's fine. It's what you gotta do. It's what you have to do. Okay, but clay with me. Back to that. So before I clay, I need to first check out what supplies I have in my desk, and then let's hop on our little shoes and go to the subway and take a short ride to the art supply store. Okay, let's do it. I'm so excited. So at the moment, all of my clay is held in here. Now that I'm going from being a polymer clay hobbyist to a polymer clay business, I'm definitely gonna have to probably expand it. I'm gonna have to find out a bit more of a storage solution. This won't be enough for the stock that I'm going to need. Also, on another note, I really want to do a desk declutter and like studio little revamp. Not that I even have a studio, I simply have a corner in my living room. But I thought maybe it could be a fun little video to like declutter my desk, because then you'll also see down under here all of the other random hobbies I've tried to pick up to get to know me a little bit better, and then maybe we can like go to IKEA and see if there's some good storage stuff, or like the storage container store? The container store is that what it's called? But try to get some more storage stuff so I can make my little corner or some other space in my home just storage space, because I'm gonna need that, because I have to get shipping supplies and other stuff to make my business run. You probably also noticed I have a few things on this tray. These are prototypes for holiday stuff. Definitely the first draft, but I want to do, I guess I'll give you a little sneak peek into the prototypes though. I want to do one of my little creatures. Sledding on a leaf, but I'm thinking I might put either a little like sweater or puffer jacket on my little girl and maybe a little hat. We'll see. We're prototyping, but the leaf design is what we got. The outfit, I want to make a little more wintry. This is another little prototype. Isn't it so cute? Look at the arm off the side of the mug. But this is definitely the prototype still. I might change the color of the mug, as well as throw like some marshmallows or a little cookie in the cup, and I'm thinking a little hat instead of a leaf. But first draft. And I don't think I'm gonna include this little bird in my collection. I don't know, unless any of y'all want it, but again, just first draft, a little wintry little bird. Initially, I was trying to go for like a pigeon, because I love pigeons. There's always a ton on our fire escape, and I just think they're so cute. But doing a pigeon on polymer clay, just because there's so many little details you have to add to make it distinguishable from other birds, is just a little challenging. So that is something I still want to do in the future, but not quite yet. So the main thing I'm going to need to stock up on is a lot of this gold Sculpey Primo clay. This is what I make all of the bodies out of. It gives a really nice texture and shine, and I mean, yeah, they're little bodies. It's so cute. I love it. What else will I need? I'm gonna get more blue for blueberries, more red for strawberries, orange for oranges, and I'm gonna get more yellow as well. So what I'm gonna focus on creating first, as you can probably tell, is my little fruit backpack creatures. And then I'll work on my prototypes for my little holiday ones after that. So, okay, let's go to the store. Hi, we are back home now. Let me show you my little stash of things that I got. Hello. Hello, babe. So I just got a bunch of clay at the store. I was trying to decide how much I wanted to get. I think that, nope, that's not all of it. Okay. This is all the stuff I got. I was honestly a bit disappointed because they only had one block of the gold in stock. Only one! So I'm gonna order online, but honestly it's probably for the best so I can get like a big block if I order online. And then, because that was out of stock, instead of just getting one of the colors, I got two of each. So I got 2 yellow for my lemon stuff, 2 blue for my blueberry stuff, 2 reds, 2 reds for strawberry things, 2 orange for my orange ones, and then I got a white block because I just need more of it. And then as I'm trying to decide what I want to do with my winter stuff, I got 2 new colors to play around with. So I got this green color. It's called Forest Green. Thought that could be nice. And then also, I'm not sure, but if I'm gonna like this or not, but I got this one. It's like a navy blue with a bunch of little sparkles in it. It's called Galaxy Glitter. Beautiful name. Including this one and the one I already had, I just have 2.5 blocks. So don't get me too far, but it's honestly getting late. I've done a lot today. I did a lot of computer work this morning, and then we got started in the afternoon, and then when I got back from the art store, I ate a little snack because I was hungry, and I walked this precious little baby. But it's already 5 o'clock, and I'm honestly very tired. But I really want to clay because I know it'll be good for my little heart. And I want to follow through with the tasks that I say I will follow through with. So I'm going to get into something cozier. It's also kind of hot in my apartment. It was warmer today than I thought it would be for falls, in like the mid-70s, like Fahrenheit. And I'm going to get a cup of tea, which is counterintuitive if I'm feeling hot inside, but it just sounds warm and cozy to have a little cup of tea. And then we'll move back to my little desk and we'll start claying, and I'll answer some questions, and yeah, let's have fun. Should we try to do one of those fun, like, transition-y clips where I go from this outfit to that outfit? Should we try it? Here we go. Did it work? I don't know. But I'm cozier now, I know that. Okay, so let's get to claying. Finally, let's do it. I have my tea. It is the blood orange rooibos. Rooibos? I don't know how you pronounce that. Tea from Trader Joe's. It's really nice. But this is going to lead us into the first question, actually, which is how did I get into polymer clay? When I was a kid, I did a lot of arts and crafts. I was actually homeschooled until I was 11, and then I started going to public school. And so a lot of my childhood, especially until I entered public school and I was homeschooling, was a lot of arts and crafts. And so I did polymer clay when I was a kid. I also did, I mean, everything under the sun. I did felting, I did ceramics as a kid. I did shrinky dinks. I did, you remember those like little beads you would get and you could like iron them together to make stuff? What are those called? But I did that kind of stuff. I knitted, I sewed, basically anything you can think of. I most likely did as a kid. I was very artsy. And then I went to school and I kind of got out of it. And then during the pandemic, I kind of evaluated, you know, what do I want to be doing in my life? How do I want to really spend my time? And at that time too, I feel like on social media, I saw a lot of people doing ceramics, especially the wheel. And I was like, that looks really fun. And so then I signed up for ceramics classes. I did the wheel and a hand building class. And I did that for a little over a year. I did a couple different studios here in the city. And that was really fun. But I was really craving having the ability to do art at home and work with clay at home. And so that's when I got back into polymer clay. And I've been loving it. I got back into it, I'd say like a little over a year ago is when I really started doing polymer clay again. And then as I started doing it, I just would show like my friends and my family the things that I was making, and I was so shocked when so many people were like, oh my god, you need to sell that. Like, you could sell that. Why don't you sell that? And I was like, I think I should sell this. But yeah, and so that was the first inkling of like, okay, I want to really do this. I've also been a notorious hobby hopper. I've done a lot of different hobbies, a lot of different art things, and this is one that has really stuck and I've really been enjoying. I'm gonna finish cleaning up and setting up my workspace, and then we'll get on to the next question. Okay, I changed my angle around so you can hopefully see stuff a little bit better. To start claying, I'm just gonna make a few little golden bodies, and then I'll probably do strawberry backpacks is what I'm thinking. Okay, first let's measure out what we need for these. Okay, so we have the amount for the bodies and the amount for the heads. And now it's just a lot of rolling to get them into balls to then form. All right, so let's answer another question. So this person asked, I'd love to know how you got comfortable being in front of the camera. I don't 100% feel comfortable in front of the camera is the honest truth. I'm a pretty shy person, actually. Like, for example, when I went to the art store, as I was going there was a girl, she's like in her 20s, that stopped me and she was like, oh, like, excuse me, like, I really love your earrings, like, they're so pretty. And I was like, thank you, like, that's so sweet of you. And I was too shy to be like, oh, I made them, like, I'm launching a shop. Do you want my shop information? Which I totally should have done. Like, it's what I'm gonna need to do. I need to be more comfortable with it, but I just get so shy still. Semi-related, I also did like performing arts things growing up, theater and voice lessons as a kid, and then I switched and I did dance, and then I actually in high school and college I did color guard. So I've always kind of been in performance spaces, I guess, which I think helps to be comfortable in front of the camera. I do also think though getting older has been a big factor in it. Just I've gotten comfortable with who I am, and then that's allowed me to be comfortable with sharing who I am. Also, I don't know what age I look like to people. I'm 29, I'm a few months away from being 30. Yeah. So I'm going to answer these two questions together because they're very similar. So someone asked me what inspires me the most, and then what inspired me to start selling clay charms with a little one of these hands. That's hard. That's hard to say. I feel like there's a lot of things in the world that inspire me. I feel like in general, other art inspires me to make art. And that can be both within the same medium. So obviously, like, I love the people that I follow on social media that also make clay stuff. Like, it's beautiful and inspires me and makes me want to make more and makes me want to get better. But also seeing art of different mediums, or like getting out of my space, like singing with other people, which is something I like to do. Going to a show on Broadway or something, you know? Like, I feel like absorbing other art makes me want to make more art. But that also being said, one of the things that inspired me to do this and to start selling it was the fact that my mental health was very poor and I felt very burnt out. And I was also struggling physically with some chronic health stuff. One of the reasons I stepped away from doing ceramics, from doing like pottery, like, I don't know if I've mentioned that I made this cup, was because it just became too hard. Like, the commute to get there is about 40 minutes. And then also just like physically, like, my hands were hurting so bad. And I mean, yes, this takes, you know, strength in your hands, like you're doing it off your hands, but throwing on the wheel is definitely a different kind of beast. So I really wanted something that I could do at home, so that even if I wasn't feeling good at the end of the day, I could come and I could do something very simple within my home. I could just pop on my headphones, watch a show. Clay, also doing like repetitive stuff with my hands, is really good for my mental health. I'm neurodivergent, and so like having repetition is very soothing for me. Yeah, and so essentially I was inspired to do this because actually I was feeling very bad. And this was something that was a good outlet for me. Honestly, the people around me that said like, hey, you can sell that, like, that's really beautiful, like having that kind of external validation from people around me, I think helped me build up my self-confidence with this and the ability that I was like, yeah, I can sell this, because I think where I was at that time, like, I just wasn't in a mental space to think like that. So I'm very grateful for those people in my life. Maybe that was a bit of a deep answer, but it's the truth. Hopefully that answered the question. Next question is, who is your favorite clay artist? This is a hard question, y'all. There's a lot of freaking talented clay artists around. I think for me, one of the first people I found, just because she is very popular and I'm sure you know of her, is Uncomfy Co. She definitely inspired me and helped me see that this is like something you can actually do. Honestly, the person on here who asked this question, Cozy Studio, she's been very inspiring for me. We've been following each other for a while now. And then Frog and Fable, if you don't follow her, her name's Mei Ling. She makes the cutest little frogs. I like absolutely adore her work and I think it's amazing. And if you don't follow her, you should follow her. But there's also so many freaking talented polymer clay artists. Like, just go to my Instagram and see who I follow and you can find a ton of really talented people. So yeah. This is the last question I'm going to answer. And then I think I'm just gonna kind of clay and put some little music over this, because I think now that I'm gonna be getting into the details, it's gonna be kind of hard to talk and clay at the same time. I got the 3 little bodies done. Oh, and my camera's about to die, so I will have to charge the battery in a second, but let me see if I can answer this question before it dies. Someone else asked, when you sand down baked clay figures, do you get white streaks on the darker colors? Okay. This might be a bit of a hot take in the polymer clay community, but I don't sand down my pieces. I will explain why. One, because I don't sand them down, I am very, very meticulous and careful with dust throughout the whole process. You know, formed these, my next step will be going through them and wiping them off so there's no dust on them, and I'll probably do that like 3 more times before I actually bake them, so that I don't have clay on them, so that way I don't need to clay on them, so I don't have dust on them, so I don't need to sand them. Okay, we are back. The camera died, but I charged it. And while I charged the camera, this is what I did. Basically, finished the bodies. I inserted the hooks. I made all the little cheeks, the little ears, and the little arms. But when the camera died, I was in the middle of answering a question about, oh yes, sanding off items. So I was saying it's probably a hot take, but I don't sand my items down. I just am very meticulous with using rubbing alcohol on Q-tips and keeping everything clean. But the main reason I've chosen not to sand down items is just for health reasons. I mean, when you sand items down, then the little tiny dust particles of that will get in the air, and I could of course wear a mask while I'm doing it, but I'm also, I'm working in the corner of my living room. I want to keep the space as healthy as possible. Plus, they're handmade items. Like I want to look really good and I want them to be clean and very polished, but I don't need them to look like they're being manufactured in a huge factory, because they're not. I want them to be handmade and I want them to have that handmade feel. All that being said, I also think sanding pieces is great, and if that's what works for the people, and that's what works for them, but I personally have chosen to not do that. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna continue just claying now. Okay, I'm gonna enter into a little time-lapse mode so you can watch as I finish making these. Okay. I did it. I completed all 3 of them, minus the faces. I will do that probably tomorrow or the next day. But I did everything else, which I feel is a great success. But here, let me show you them. So here they are, 1, 2, 3, and this completed one in the back that I was just using as a little model. But this is what they'll look like when they're baked. Not glazed yet, but just baked. I feel like, let me flip them around. That was a success. What do you think? Do you like them? Do you think they look good? I think they look good. And now I am going to hang out with my dog and chill for the rest of the night because, it's the night and I'm tired and it's late. She's so cute. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought. If you feel so inclined, please subscribe, like, and comment. Yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Good night!